I'm Dan from mydrinkyouwine.com. Today we're up here at McKinley Springs Winery in the Horse Heaven Hills AVA with Doug Rowell. Want to tell us a little bit about the AVA up here, Doug?
Yeah, people always asking me why the Horse Heaven AVA, what makes the wine so great, and as most winemakers will tell you, it's the fruit that starts it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of our fruit comes off the Horse Heaven AVA. It's all estate fruit. But I think the one thing that makes Horse Heaven such a great place to grow grapes is it's the lowest rainfall area in the state. We only get about 6 inches of rainfall, so we're really able to control the irrigation.
Mm-hmm.
With that low amount of rainfall, we don't have near the disease problems that you get in a lot of the higher rainfall areas.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to use near as many chemicals
Mm-hmm.
on our grapes to keep them healthy, which I think is really advantageous to Horse Heaven Hills. If we do get a bit of a rainfall in the spring or summer or early fall, it's usually followed up by a pretty gusty wind. Dries those plants right back out, and we're just back up and running again in no time flat. We get a lot of heat units here in the AVA, one of the highest heat units areas in the state, and we can ripen virtually everything. Even Petit Verdot last year, when we had a long cool spring and a bit of a cool summer, we were able to get our Petit Verdot, which is one of our last grapes that we harvest for our winery. It came off just great.
Wow. That's sounds like it's an excellent site up here. It's a winemaker's dream. It sounds like.
Well, it is, and especially our farm here is really has an advantage over a lot of areas. The Horse Heaven, as you look at it, it looks like a big plateau, but it actually starts at about 1,600 feet on the north end and ends up clear down at 300 feet or so down on the river. But there's a bit of a bowl out here, and the ridge is right at about 850 feet. So as the cool weather sets in, we're at about 850 up to 1,200 feet. So that cool weather sets into the bowl, and then it just kind of boils off slowly over the Columbia River. It doesn't boil up this high. And so we always seem to be just a little bit warmer than other areas around here. And we almost always avoid those late spring frosts, and we always seem to be able to avoid the early fall frosts. And last year, 2008, a lot of the state got nipped here and there with that October freeze, and we came out of it just fine.
Wow, good for you. So Doug, these are your vineyards here, about as far as the eye can see?
Yeah, these are some of our newer plantings. We actually started planting back in 1980 and just slowly expanded from there. In about 1997 is when we started some major expansions, planting a few hundred acres a year. And we're up to about 1,800 acres right now. We'll probably plant about another 150 acres here in 2009. And from there, I guess, just see where the market takes us.
Boy, this is just a gorgeous view off your deck here, too. Man, oh man, I'm loving this. Yeah. We're in the tasting room here at McKinley Springs. Now, you're a little bit far removed.
We are out in the middle of nowhere, but we think it's well worth the trip. Almost everybody that comes out here, the first thing they say is, God, there's a long ways out here. And then by the time they've had a little wine and had the opportunity to enjoy the views, we're about a half mile up the highway. It's really quiet, really peaceful out here. And almost everybody that leaves, that's the remark they make. It's so peaceful out here, it's well worth the trip.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I drove a lot of ways to get here too, and up on the deck, it's just gorgeous views, and you hear the birds singing, and it's springtime. You know, it's removed, but that's a good thing.
We like it.
Yeah.
It is nice and quiet out here.
Yeah.
It's a great place to have. Every year we have an annual barbecue competition out here.
Oh, wow.
And even the barbecuers, they comment on how far it is out here, but almost every one of them also comments that it's the best place to have a barbecue competition. It's out in the middle of nowhere, nice and peaceful, nice and quiet. The barbecue competition, this year it'll be June 13th. We'll probably have about 15 teams, and the proceeds from the benefit go to Operation Barbecue. Operation Barbecue feeds troops and their families whenever they come back from overseas to the Fort Lewis.
Well, what a nice welcome home. Yeah. And you got a lot of wide open spaces there, so you wouldn't feel crowded barbecuing at all.
No, just to barbecue.
Oh, great. We're going to drink a little bit of wine today, are we?
Today we're having our 04 Cabernet.
Ooh, good. That was a good year. I love that sound. I never get tired of it. How about you, Sam?
I like that sound. Top of the cork.
Yeah, there you go. You want to talk a little bit about this cab, or?
This is our 04 cab. It's a blend of what we call the old block, the block we planted in 1980. It's about half of that is the old block, about half from a newer block over here, cab 17. The old block tends to give you the old earthy aromas of like a traditional Bordeaux style cab. The cab 17 block gives you just a little bit more fruit, but also for some reason, I don't know, it's a little bit different soil, less smokiness to it. And then we blend it with a little bit of Petit Verdot, give it a little bit of body, a little bit of structure.
Yeah, this is really nice. Nice and full mouth, smooth on the palate. Oh yeah, I could sit on that deck and drink this all day. Okay, well thanks for having me up here, Doug. I really appreciate the opportunity to come up here. It's been just a blast. It's been a nice relaxing afternoon for me.
Appreciate you coming out here.
Again, we're at McKinley Springs Winery, the Horse Heaven Hills AVA. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thanks for coming
I
out.
really appreciate it. I'm Dan from MyDrinkYourWine.com. If you're buying, I'm drinking.